Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith, Silent Bob, and all those terrible Jay and Silent Bob type pictures, man. You're listening to Drop the Mic, the only podcast that I listen to that I'm not a part of. Every podcast I listen to, I usually talk on it, but not fucking Drop the Mic. That's where I'm like, let me hear what the boys have to say. And now, we drop the mic.
What do these things want, and why are they here?
You still don't get it, do you, boy?
They have recruited the rich and the powerful.
They're running the whole show.
Wake up! They're all about you, all around you. Blinded us to the truth.
Take a look. They are safe as long as they are not discovered.
I don't know what they are or where they came from, but we gotta stop them. Stay away from me. What these are? They have us. Look at them. They're everywhere. Our owners.
We have no other choice.
I don't like this one bit.
Leave it alone, man. It ain't none of my business. Ain't none of yours. We have been lulled into a trance.
Listen to what I'm saying to you. We're in trouble. The whole world's in trouble. Control us! You're sending some kind of signals out of TV sets.
I've got one that can see.
Mama don't like tattletale. Now we start spilling some blood. Let's go!
Push a button.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Welcome back to our humble San Diego podcast. I'm Wesley, and that's Ryan, and together we are Drop the Mic, coming back with episode 353, They Live, We Sleep, where we aim to discuss an end of the 80s masterpiece by the one and only John Carpenter. But first, let's get everybody warmed up out there.
And now for a special news report. Brought to you by Drop the Mic.
What's up, Ryan? How are you?
What's up, dude? I'm good. I can't wait to talk about this movie. How it fucking rocks. And I forgot how fucking much I loved it. I hadn't seen it in a couple years.
Yeah, man. Oh, how good it is. It's crazy. All right. Kick us off with some pop culture news, my man.
Yeah. So Brian Fuller is no longer working on A24's Friday the 13th prequel series. I guess A20 they're still doing it. They're just going to go in a different route. So they're kind of scrapping his idea in general. It also was revealed that Kevin Williamson developed an episode for the series, and he described it as bloody, horrific, and an hour-long chase episode. So, R.I.P. to that, because we're never going to see it.
That was in my news too, man. Because was Brian Fuller did the Hannibal series, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So from what I hear, like it was from the things that I saw on Twitter and everyone who had worked on it with him, it was up to that level of good fucking television. So yeah, dude, kind of sucks, but we'll see where they go. Maybe they just wanted to do something a little different. Yeah, dude, that kind of sucks, but see how it goes and see where they go with it.
I did see that Brian released a statement saying like that he wishes A24 all the best and that they just wanted to go in a different direction, but he hopes that they can still bring something to life that's going to make the Friday the 13th fans happy. Which, if you're familiar with that franchise, there's not a very high bar there to begin with, in my opinion. This is, I guess we're going to be waiting a whole lot longer than we anticipated for this.
Yeah.
it's kind of on brand for the Friday the 13th the last few years. They just haven't been able to kind of pull the trigger and get something really off the ground since that, what is it, 2009 reboot?
Yeah, which is, I know you're a fan of it. I was also a fan of it.
Yeah, man. It's good. I mean, shit.
Yeah.
Even that what is it, like 10-minute intro is fucking worth the admission there, right there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, moving forward, Brad Pitt's Formula One movie has a $300 million plus budget, making it one of the most expensive movies ever made. It's being directed by Joseph Krasinski, who directed Top Gun Maverick. That's a shit ton of money, dude.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. I know, didn't the not Fall Guy, the Gray Man cost like $250 million or something?
Yeah, something around there.
Which is for Netflix. That's fucking wild too. I just hope people go and see this movie. I know Brad Pitt is saying that he's wanting to retire soon. So
yeah, dude, that's fucking nuts. Like, can you what does it probably have to do? Like 600 million to probably make money after like all the fucking advertisements and shit like that.
Yeah, we're talking maybe 700, 800. They're thinking that this is going to be a big ass movie, and I mean, I guess enough people like racing, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they're banking on Top Gun making all that money too, and him directing it.
Yeah.
So there's a new Lord of the Rings movie in development. I know Chanel is probably pissing her pants with excitement because she's a huge fan. Shout out Chanel. But yeah, dude, like supposedly it's coming out in a couple years. Like 2026 is when they wanna throw it out there, and Peter Jackson's returning in some capacity.
And then, God damn it, what's the mocap guy's name again?
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis is supposedly directing.
Wow. Yeah, man, that's crazy. I don't know how much more they could fucking tell. You know, the first trilogy, and then in the second trilogy, the Hobbit trilogy, and then with Amazon doing their shit.
It seems like a spin-off for Gollum, right?
That's what I was reading. So I know I've had it in my news a couple times, but it's finally official. The new Office series has been picked up by Peacock. It'll follow the original dot crew as it finds its next subject, a dying Midwestern newspaper, and its publisher who's trying to bring new life into the paper by using volunteer reporters. So I'm excited. You know, The Office is probably my favorite show of all time. I'm excited to see what they do with it. Hopefully they can, obviously it's probably not going to live up to The Office, but hopefully it's good. And everyone, all the showrunner is coming back, so we'll see, dude. I'm excited though.
Yeah, that's pretty, that's crazy that it's coming back. But I mean, there's no reason, I mean, I'm not surprised they would bring it back, because that is a very much, how do you say, like a cultural phenomenon, like Friends and other sitcoms.
Yeah. So for Office fans, it's pretty cool. I got a couple more. I have one more, and then I remembered one, so I'll throw that in there. I don't think we talked about it. Michelle Yeoh is set to star in the Blade Runner 2049 sequel series at Amazon titled Blade Runner 2099.
Fuck yeah.
How awesome is that?
I'm in. I'm in.
Yeah, dude. I don't know who else is involved. There wasn't much information other than that, and I think she's gonna be obviously the main character, and I think she's a replicant kind of at the end of her days, and she fucking rock.
Oh yeah, always, man. And then we got to see her a couple years ago in another sci-fi masterpiece, so we know she knows what's up.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the little bit of news I forgot to put in my news, and I don't even know if we've talked about it off air, but we got to talk about Mike Flanagan and talks to direct the next Exorcist movie, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that's something that we called, right?
Yeah. We definitely, between you and I, said that multiple times, I think, on the show before we had any idea that it was actually going to come to fruition, but it really is happening now. And I think if anyone was going to take a stab at it, I'm glad he's getting the opportunity to kind of clean up and hopefully get us back on the success train. Not that I didn't like Believer in the first place, but you know how that goes.
Me and you were the only two that liked it, Wes.
Ever in the whole world.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited. I really, I hope he can come in and they kind of, like you said, kind of clean it up. Obviously, it wasn't a perfect movie, but I really hope. Obviously, we'll get that fucking Flanagan touch, right? But I really hope they don't go the route and kind of retcon it. Hope they continue that story, dude, because I think those characters are, and Leslie's pretty fucking. It was pretty dope, dude. I liked them a lot, and I like the young girls fucking killed it acting wise. So hopefully they continue that story. But yeah, that's all I got for my news. What do you have left for us after I took everything?
I have one piece, so this will be quick. Mahershala Ali and Tom Hardy are teaming up for a new crime thriller called 77 Blackout, in which a group of rogue cops plan to rob 3 criminal organizations in their city. But as they're faced with unforeseen challenges, as the night of the robbery comes, they find themselves in a citywide blackout. That's the synopsis of the film as of right now. It's going to be directed by No Time to Die director Cary Fukunaga.
You don't even have to see it. It could be directed by fucking Mr. Bean, and I'd go watch it.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, those two starring in a movie, fucking sign me up, dude.
Especially what seems like a kind of heist, weird take on a heist movie. It should be fun.
Yeah, dude, it sounds different. Fucking period piece. Let's fucking go.
And now it's time for the weekly recommendations.
Dude, we started binge watching Parks and Rec, and I had only watched it like once through, and goddamn, dude, Ron Swanson might be one of my favorite characters on television of all time.
I could see that, yeah.
Yeah. So go fucking watch Parks and Rec again, or don't. And then my last rec, dude, is music. It's something we've been talking about off air. The new Knock Loose record, dude. It is, in my humble opinion, I think like 15, 20, 25 years from now, this is going to be a record people say that it is their favorite hardcore record of all time. I think it's their best. The production is fucking awesome. It's fucking horrifying. I had a mutual who says that he loves the album, but he doesn't like he's a super big nerd. So like he said that the mixing and mastering he wasn't a fan of. I didn't pay attention to that, and the things that I heard I thought were done intentionally. But yeah, man, it is so fucking good. And if you're listening to this, we really haven't said anything on social media, but we are going to be doing a giveaway.
Yep.
For that new album.
Because
stay tuned.
We want everybody to go out and throw ass to that reggaeton breakdown. Sucker.
Yeah.
I picked that up on the 10th, the day it dropped too, on Wax. I found it at crazy Target exclusive for Knock Loose. That's nuts.
I know, dude. It's kind of insane. And that pressing, I think, honestly, dude, I know that that like there's a swamp green with like sparkles. That's I think one of the ones that sold out real fast. But the fucking target pressing is probably the best variant, dude. If you hold that shit up to the sun or the light, it fucking rocks.
Yeah, it's a beautiful pressing.
I have that, and I have the new. I bought the new Alien Ant Farm on vinyl, and I haven't logged those albums. Don't fucking laugh, bro.
I'm not laughing. I heard you told me it's good. I saw it's good, so I'll check it out.
But yeah, fucking check out Knox Loose. Go support them. Don't be a bitch and say that they're not hardcore. They could hardcore, metalcore, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's fucking hard as shit, and it rocks.
What's that School of Rock song? You're not hardcore unless you live hardcore. I got two for you. Starting with Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I got early screener tickets to go see it. It fucking rocks. If you're a fan of that original trilogy of prequels that came out a few years ago, or I guess progressively, what is it? It's Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and then War of the Planet of the Apes. Fucking classics. I think they get better and better as you go through them in chronological order. And this one, Kingdom, dude, is no different. I was struggling, kind of had a lot of doubt that they were going to be able to create that same emotional through line that I saw in these first three, but they really, Westball, that director, really captured that impactfulness that I really, really was hoping would be there. It's fucking great. It's doing really well at the box office right now, as far as I know, and now we're probably going to get more because there's so much interest still in this surrounding this franchise. So it's an exciting time to be a fan.
Did you see that? Speaking of getting more, did you see that they said they wanted to do 9 altogether?
Yeah, I guess that had been always something that was their master plan since the beginning of bringing these movies back. And that's not out of the realm of possibility, but also that's a lot of fucking movies. And you know, a lot of how do you say, pressure to keep up that momentum. But so far, I mean, look, they're four down already, crushing it. Beautiful mocap in this one still. It looks incredible. I feel like you shouldn't be able to take these seriously because they're so heavily involved in the mocap, but it's just done so goddamn good every time that you can't help but kind of fall in love and accept it. It's one of those rare exceptions where people like you and me are like, fuck yeah, like I'm into it. However, I'm not a big fan of the title because I feel like it sounds kind of repetitive. Like repeat it to me right now. What the movie's called?
I'll be honest with you. It's Kingdom, right? It's Kingdom, right? Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Yep.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. That's a little bit repetitive.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
I mean, what else? Like, it's a pretty long title. It's like Planet of the Apes is kind of, you can't do much with it other than add words at the beginning. And if you're going to add words at the beginning, it's going to be a good amount, a couple of words at least.
I think, and this is my inner aspiring filmmaker self coming out, but I think they should have called it Kingdom, a Planet of the Apes story. Some shit like a subtitle, and break that up.
But that's adding more to it, because then you have to read Kingdom, a Planet of the Apes story.
I just feel like it rolls off the tongue a little better, you know, other than Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
You know what's fucking crazy too about these movies and about this movie? I'm pretty sure it took, what, 150 million to make?
Easily. These sets and everything, yeah.
These fucking big DC, like The Flash and fucking Black Adam, took $1 billion to make, $600-700 million to make, and it looks like they look like shit compared to this.
Yeah, it looks like caca. Seriously. Like, yeah. Like, watching this,
like you're telling me that scene in The Flash when he's looking there, like all those different fucking, you see fucking Nicolas Cage and fucking, you know, all the older Supermans and Batmans. You're telling me that they couldn't do a better job, but they could film a whole fucking movie in mocap and make it look like that?
Yeah,
it's such a good job. Those first, I haven't seen this one, but those first three, they do such a good job. You fucking forget that they're not fucking real.
Yeah, that it's not real. It's like I told you, man, that these movies are a phenomenon, and I don't think it's been anything has reached the level, doing this technology. Fuck Avatar, all right? This is where it's at.
Thank you, Jesus fuck, dude. I completely forgot to bring that fucking piece of shit up. These movies are what fucking Avatar wishes they were.
Absolutely, 100%.
Story-wise, acting-wise, everything.
All right. Moving on real quick. I finally got to watch the first Omen. And it's really good. It sits at an 81 on Rotten. I know you told me that you had read somewhere that a lot of people were saying that they believe that it's better than the original, which it's been a while. That's a very old film. I really like this one. It does, and I went into it knowing that it was going to take its time to start up, to kind of gear up, but it does. It really takes its time in the beginning. It's a very kind of gothic cathedral, almost like Hammer horror style, If you like exorcism type of shit or demonic stuff, if that's your subgenre, you'll be into this. But just be patient with it. It was very good though, and a very kind of authentic prequel. Have you seen this yet?
I haven't. I'm waiting for it to come out on streaming. And then fucking, I think that I Saw the TV Glow comes out this weekend, right?
It does, yeah.
And then on the 30th, I think Inviolate Nature comes out in select theaters.
Oh God, I'm gonna be there for that, dude.
The fucking Crow comes out re-release on the 30th as well.
Yeah.
So much shit, dude. I'm sorry, bro.
It's okay. Did you know your boy is in I Saw the TV Glow?
Who?
You don't know what I'm referring to?
I don't, and I know that there's someone in it that you don't know that's in it, so don't ruin it for me right now.
Okay, I won't say anything.
I have no idea though. Like, I saw someone who had seen it, who saw it and said that, like, I did not know that person was in that movie.
Yeah, it's big. It's big for you, right?
I mean, is it fucking? I mean, is it? What is it? Chino from Deftones?
No, but you're very close. You're very, very. You're steaming hot, like close to who it could be.
I think I know.
Hopefully it doesn't get ruined. You only got a couple days and it'll be out. So if you don't lag it, then you'll get to experience that, because it was ruined for me, unfortunately.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And now for the movie focus of the week.
Right. So this week we're talking about They Live. It's rated R. It's from 1988. It's an action sci-fi horror piece. It runs at 1 hour and 33 minutes, and it's got a 86 on Rotten. It was written for the screen and directed by the great John Carpenter, starring Roddy Piper, Keith David, and Meg Foster. The film follows Nada, who seeks to start a new life in Los Angeles searching for steady work, he soon realizes something sinister is lurking in the city and things are not as they seem to be. As Nada struggles to get people to believe that LA is slowly being invaded by otherworldly forces, he soon finds out he is not alone in his discovery, putting his life on the line for the sake of humanity. Although John Carpenter has come to be known for the creation of his iconic character Michael Myers, the filmmaker's work goes a few years prior to the success of 1978's Halloween. Dark Star and Assault on Precinct 13 came in the mid-70s, and then moving into the 80s, he would release the, at the time, box office disaster, The Thing, which would hurt Carpenter's budget options in the long run, followed by Christine, Big Trouble in Little China, Prince of Darkness, and finally, They Live. The concept for They Live came from a short story by Raymond Nilsson entitled 8 O'Clock in the Morning in 1963. This story is about a man who is hypnotized and then begins to realize the entire world has been actually hypnotized by aliens, and he has until 8 a.m. the next day to solve the issue. The story was later adapted into a comic in 1986 entitled Nada, also by Raymond Nielsen, with visual art by Bill Ray. After Carpenter acquired the rights to all of the source material, he wrote his screenplay, fine-tuning the story's elements to fit the screen. As seen in the film, Carpenter is not credited as the writer in the credits. This is because he chose to honor one of his favorite novelists, H.P. Lovecraft, by working under the pseudonym Frank Armitage. Keith David got his start as an actor with the supporting role in The Thing as Childs. Despite his inexperience, David delivered an incredible performance, which likely got him the role of Frank, as Carpenter wrote his character specifically with him in mind. When it comes to Roddy Piper, Carpenter was a big fan of wrestling and first met Piper while attending WrestleMania 3. Fucking crazy. Carpenter asked Piper if he'd be up for the lead role because of his blue-collar vibes, and that really does come across on screen. With a pretty simple script that is obviously meant to be somewhat campy and over the top, it's hard to imagine anybody else than these two for the lead roles. Shot on location in downtown LA early in 1988. The film shot for 8 weeks and had a budget of just a little over $3 million. Opening on November 4th, 1988, as a result of being pushed back to avoid competition against Halloween 4, They Live found success at the box office, grossing $13.4 million. Although the film did face some harsh criticism due to the blatant obvious political undertones of the film and its visual effects and acting. Over the years, like most of Carpenter's work, They Live has aged rather gracefully, being all too relevant in the world we live in today. A killer soundtrack, incredible choreography, and an undeniable cultural footprint. If you haven't seen this film, we highly suggest checking it out right now via Tubi. 4 shades out of 5. Thank you.
Bravo, bravo.
All right, man. So, tell everybody out there why it is you chose this crazy movie.
Because you know, dude, like I was kind of late to the game. I didn't see this probably until I was like in my teens, probably. It was after my mom like, you have to see like They Live, like it's fucking awesome. Like you love John Carpenter, you love Halloween, The Thing. So yeah, I checked it out and I fucking fell in love with it. It just fucking, it's probably a lot to do with Piper, dude, but it, like, oozes fucking cool, dude. Like, it's just fucking badass from start to finish. It's a movie that, like I said in the beginning, like I hadn't seen it in a while, and it's something where like you forget how good it is, and it holds up so fucking well. Obviously, there's like some CGI in it, you know, that looks kind of campy, and now it looks kind of bad, but everything about it fucking holds up. And me being a huge wrestling fan, like I think that's another reason why I love this movie so much. I don't think I ever told you. I don't think I've ever told you this story. Did I tell you my Roddy Piper story?
I don't think so.
No. So literally like a year before he passed away, he was at a little like toy convention, signing probably 15 minutes away from my parents' house. Me being the type of person like I wanted to go and I never did. And I wanted to get I had the soundtrack on vinyl and I wanted to go get it signed by him. And my social anxiety fucking kicked in and then I didn't want to go by myself and I didn't go. And like a year later, he passed away, dude. That's like one of my biggest regrets ever is not going to see him. Because of how much I loved him and how much I love this movie. And the I think why it holds up so well is just what it's about, right? Like you can remake this movie fucking word for word, shot for shot, and it would work just the same as it did then. Just the same as it does now than it did then. And how fucking great is fucking Keith David in it, right?
Oh,
Like I think everyone always forgets, it's Carpenter, it's Roddy Piper. Everyone kind of always forgets about him. I don't know how you can, but you don't, when you think of They Live, you think of those two, right? Or you think of the imagery. You don't ever think of obviously we do, but people never think of him, and he's so fucking good. And I know we'll talk about it, in a little bit, but that fucking fight scene, dude,
it's incredible.
the best. It's so fucking good, dude. I can't say nothing more that I haven't already said about this movie. The only thing I can say is that I think it's for Carpenter. I think it's pretty up there for me.
Yeah,
in my favorites.
Yeah, I think it's definitely top 3.
Yeah. You can definitely put this. I know, like obviously Halloween. Halloween's always going to be one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think you can ever put anything over that. But this and The Thing, I think, are just. If you said that this was your second favorite Carpenter movie, I would be right there. Or you could say The Thing, and I would still be right there. And you can even say this is your favorite Carpenter movie, and I would agree with you. That's how fucking good this movie is. And I think that's how well his movie. And like you said in the beginning, like his movies fucking hold up well.
Yeah.
Like they obviously age, but they fucking hold up well. Like go back and watch fucking Assault on Precinct 13, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Holds up. I think one of the only things that doesn't hold up is fucking Ghost of Mars.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean it's kind of a bad movie.
We're gonna forgive you. We're gonna forgive you for that, John. Okay.
I think he knows. I'm sure he knows it's probably kind of lame. It's like a fun concept, but it's like it. Maybe it would have translated better had it been, released in the era where he was on fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I feel like he was a product of his time, where his movies, they worked because of the time that they were released. Even though that's kind of not true at the same time, because it's like everybody hated them for some reason. Like The Thing was torn apart critically. It didn't make any money. And that's like regarded as maybe like outside of Halloween, like his, hands down masterpiece of body horror,
Yeah. The Thing is probably, you can probably, I know I've heard people say that The Thing is probably like one of the greatest, not just horror movies, and movies of all time.
Yeah.
Just everything about it. And it kind of sucks that, he didn't see that success when these movies, like most of his movies drop, but it says a lot about them, and it says a lot about the time that 30, 40, almost 50 years now, those movies are fucking, regarded as the greatest. But tell us, Tell us why you love this movie so much, Wes, and tell me about the first time you saw it.
So, I love this movie probably for a lot of the same reasons you do. Is it just oozes cool? You know, it's released in '88, and it can get away with a whole lot of more shit than if it had been released, 10 years prior to this, where it's like just at the cusp of that '80s like cheese, like hyper violence that was totally fine, and not only is it doing that, but it's satirizing, ultra consumerism and corporate greed, and doing it like shamelessly, where it's literally Carpenter did this movie to say, hey, fuck you, Reagan. Like, I don't like you. I don't like what you're about. And that's so punk rock in itself, right? And not only like it's crazy that he got Roddy Piper, who was not an experienced actor. Yes, you can say you are somewhat acting in the wrestling world at the time, though. Wrestling was more regarded as people thought it was real, not staged,
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. And I think that Roddy did a fucking hell of a job in this, but it's because nobody has any overcomplicated dialogue, and it's very almost self-aware, and it feels besides the sci-fi elements, it feels pretty real as far as the characters and what they do and how they kind of cope with what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Keith David too is another big reason why I love this movie, because the guy is just so goddamn good. I don't think he's ever turned in a bad performance. And this one, like, he's so unafraid, like just like his delivery and his commitment, especially like to the action. And I know I watched an interview where he was saying that he didn't like in the 80s how people would not do their research when they were using firearms on screen as to how they would actually work in a real life situation. And he used Arnold as an example, where he's like, when you see Arnold holding like two M80s and firing them at the same time, he's like, nobody fucking can do that. Like, yeah, it looks cool cinematically, but it's not realistic. And so when I do my shit on screen, I'm trying to make it feel real, and there's something to really respect in that craft. The first time I saw it, I was super young. It was around the time that I saw The Thing. I was probably around 8, 9, or 10 years old. And what's interesting about this one is that it feels so different from everything else that Carpenter's done.
Mm-hmm.
Where this one kind of leans into being more action, but then you have that crazy reveal of the aliens and the special effects, and then when they use the sunglasses as a way to filter what's actually going on in the world, something that was not in the short story, by the way. Mm-hmm. I think it was just one guy was hypnotized and that was it. So that was all John's idea to bring in the sunglasses, but it's such a gnarly concept. And then to think about how when he puts on those sunglasses for the first time and you see like how the world is, and those like super simplistic signs that say like consume and get married and reproduce, and
so good, dude. Obey.
Yeah. And the how it turns black and white, and how fucking good is the editing in this throughout, right? Because you have to think about Roddy and all these people that are pretending to wear these glasses, and they're not fucking seeing what we're actually seeing. in the movie. You know, they're pretending that all this shit is happening, and it does not seem like that. It doesn't seem like disconnected whatsoever. But when you're seeing the real world in black and white, a lot of that is matte paintings. Like, those are matte paintings, kind of mimicking the scenery of the actual shots that we see like seconds before, and you can't tell. I can't tell now.
No, you can't fucking tell at all.
No, you cannot. It's like it's like photorealism at its best. So I don't know what the fuck people were talking about saying that the effects were bad in this, because they're not. And then you can say what you want about how the aliens look, but I think it's fucking creepy as hell. It bothers me even watching it like as an adult, you know.
The aliens are like, first off, how iconic, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, their face, how they look when you put the shades on. But I never understood that about how people say that it didn't look good at the time. It's scary as shit now.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's like he tapped into the Twilight Zone. You know, that's something that could have been pulled straight from the Twilight Zone. And the Twilight Zone, as we all know, if you're a real fan of pop culture, the Twilight Zone, still, you can watch it, sit down and watch like early episodes, and they still creep you out because it's timeless. It's a timeless thing, and I think it's the same thing here. But yeah, I don't know. I can't wrap my head around how people could say that it was shitty acting and shitty special effects. Yeah, it's different. It's not.
Yeah,
it's not.
I just think.
Go ahead.
I just think at the time, dude, just people didn't get it.
Yeah,
right? Like they just did not get it. I mean, you said it doesn't take itself seriously, right? And I think that's something that maybe kind of irked people when it came out. And the story is you would expect something, the story being more intricate or more like, you know, in depth, but it isn't. It is complete opposite. And you would think with the subject matter and what it's trying to say that it needs to be, but it absolutely does not fucking need to be. And I think that's why people like us and everyone now fucking love it, because it's fucking straight fucking forward, right?
Yep.
There's no fucking, it's not, there's no, it just, it shows you itself for face value. And sometimes that's what you fucking need, right? You just need Roddy Piper to show up in a bank and fucking start shooting aliens for no fucking reason whatsoever, other than he's just trying to fucking kill the things that he knows that are bad.
Speaking of that scene, when so he finds the glasses after the church has been raided. He finds them in the wall. It's like a box. He doesn't know what's in the box, you know, in the beginning, and then he finds these glasses, and he thinks he's kind of been duped, and that it's nothing. He hides the box for whatever reason in an old trash can, but takes one pair. He puts them on. He's outside, and then he walks into like a little liquor store or market or something, and starts seeing all of these people who are supposedly the elite for who they really are, that they're like these fucking decomposing alien creature thing. But he fucks up and he can't articulate how to feel, so he calls this little old lady out, and he's like, "Hey, like you're basically," and paraphrasing, he calls her ugly, and she gets like offended, and then starts getting on her little Rolex. She's like, "Oh, I think I got one down here that can see." And then it starts getting really, really creepy from that point on, where he's like, "You got like," and then he turns around to this lady who's a normal human being, and he's like, "No, you're cool, but this lady over here is like formaldehyde face." You know what I'm saying? But he gives himself away, and then that's when that lady calls the cops on him, and he has a tussle with the police, who are, I believe, they're both aliens, right?
Yeah, he does run into, I think, a couple that aren't. But yeah, the ones he first runs into in that alley, they're aliens.
And they're like, hey, where'd you get those glasses? Let's go somewhere and talk about this. It's a big misunderstanding. And Nada really kind of, he acts like he's going to go with them, and he kind of swiftly takes them down, grabs their weapons, grabs a big ass pump shotgun from the squad car, and then proceeds to, put the glasses back on, walk into a bank, and just starts taking fools out. That is not something that would be okay in today's culture. Because it's like, thinking about like the mental health issues that are more apparent now, that would be a lot of people would have big problems with something like that.
And dude, I've always loved that. Like, obviously everyone loves that line, right? Like, everyone, you know that line that he says, but like, there's no reason for him to even fucking say that. Like, yeah. It doesn't mean it. What does it mean to? But he just it almost seems like they just told Roddy, just say whatever the fuck you want. And I know that wasn't the case, but it almost seems like just say whatever the fuck comes to your mind.
So in my research, I think that was John actually says that was in fact written by Roddy, and it was his. It was just, I guess he gave John Carpenter a bunch of old lines that he used to use to cut promos. And
that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, and he was like, "Let me know if you think any of these would work." And then they ended up on that one where he walks in and he's all kind of surprised because he's like, "Oh shit! Like I look like a lunatic," and he's like, I'm here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum." But yeah, you're right. It's totally like he doesn't have to say anything. That pretty much leads us to the big fight, right? Because he becomes wanted because he goes in guns blazing into this bank heist, and then everybody is looking after him, and he goes after Frank, who is Keith David's character. Goes and finds him at that construction job from the beginning of the movie. And then, Frank's like, "Get the fuck away from me, you crazy lunatic bastard. I don't want nothing to do with you." And then Frank ends up getting, he feels bad later and finds Nada like in an alleyway, and kind of throws him the money because they had worked the day prior. So he throws him his money. And he's like, "This is the best I could do for you. It's a day's worth of pay." And that's a crazy one shot where he throws it perfectly in the box of sunglasses. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
That was a huge distance. Like, how many times did they shoot that? But basically, Roddy Piper's character tells Frank over and over again, like, "Put on these fucking glasses and you're going to see what I'm talking about, dude. I'm not crazy." And Frank is a very hard-headed person. His personality, he's all, "Fuck you, man. Like, I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm not putting on the glasses. I don't give a shit about what you have to say." And they get into this huge rumble that's like 5.5 minutes to 6 minutes of just nonstop ass kicking. These guys do it all. Wrestling moves, and it's great choreography, but it's realistic in the fact that they're not doing, karate or kung fu or any fancy martial arts. It's just a straight up slugfest. Perfectly cut. I think it took them about 3 weeks to shoot that completely, which is insane.
Really?
Yeah, 3 weeks of putting that all together. And when you watch it, it feels so, there's a fluidity to it where you believe that it's happening all at the same time. Like, the cuts are so precise, again, with this editing. It's just beautiful. And they really just sell the shit out of it with the damage that both of them are getting. There's a really crazy spot where Nada gets mad and picks up a kind of a 2x4 and tries to hit Frank with it. He cracks a windshield, and I think and hurts Frank, and that really pisses Frank off. And then you see like he has like a huge gash on the back of his head. But they really beat each other's ass, and it looks real.
You didn't talk about one of the best lines in the movie when he tells him, I'm giving you a choice: either put on these glasses or start eating that trash can.
And you know, when he says these lines that are completely ridiculous, there is a sense of that he means it. You know, it's like he's not fucking around, and it's it just works. He has this he had this I don't know, like aura about him that was just, you know, like a total badass.
He was like, for anyone listening who's into wrestling now, and I wasn't really into wrestling. The person that I always kind of say like he's the modern day Roddy Piper is CM Punk, right? Like he's just fucking cool. You know, he's on the verge of being like a heel, but he still has that baby face mentality about him. And that's how he is. That's exactly how he is in They Live. Like you kind of get that maybe he's a you know, he just oozes fucking coolness. And the two lines that we've talked about, probably they're not even my favorite. I think my fucking favorite is what is he's telling. I think he's telling. Oh, it's when after the fight, he beats the shit out of him. And he tells Frank, brother, life's a bitch and she's back in heat.
Yeah.
That is my fucking favorite line, dude. Or the mama don't like tattletales.
Oh, dude, in the bank? Yeah, that's a badass line. How about how the cops just like ruthlessly beat up that blind man who's obviously blind?
Again, Carpenter is on another level with his fucking storytelling, dude.
How you know that Carpenter was a real one even all those years ago is I saw an interview with Keith David also that he said that the role of Frank was written for him, but that Carpenter actually sent him his lines and had him kind of Keith David pre-screen all of his lines, and Carpenter was like, I want you to tell me if this is like, if I'm writing it like authentically or if I'm being too stereotypical for your character. So think about how already like of an ally he was back then. Crazy.
It's fucking awesome.
So for all those people out there who protect shitty people or say like, oh, they're old, they don't know any better. No, I don't buy it.
No, the good ones have been about it. You just like to pick and choose.
Dude, let's talk about how insane it gets when so Frank and Nada they get invited to this undercover group that are trying to figure out how to stop this alien invasion. Mm. And they get their contact lenses. So they're like, oh, you know, we just got them. They just released these. They're a lot better than the sunglasses. I thought that was a pretty cool little detail. And then you think like, oh, you know, our guys are safe or whatever in this little meeting, and they're kind of getting to know everybody, and then you randomly see the lady that was kidnapped by Nada in the beginning, right? And she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry that that I hurt you. Like, I had no idea that you were telling the truth, blah, blah, blah. But there's something very off about her, you know? And then, shortly after that, the place just gets fucking mowed down, dude. Like, by cops. It's so surprising. Especially not having seen this for a few years. I had forgot that the cops just ambushed the place. And you're wondering how they knew. And it turns out to, that lady who is she worked for the news broadcasting place, right? I think. Was kind of in on it. She ends up being in on it, but
yeah, she was like undercover.
And they gave the group of people in that meeting before the cops rush in, they give Frank one of the Rolexes that the aliens use to communicate, and they were like, "Oh, we're trying to figure out how to hack these so we can like use their portal system where they can just vanish whenever they want." And so that plays in, a little bit later when Frank and Nada get cornered in the alley by the cops. They use the watch and they end up going to some random ass location, which looks like I don't know, what would you say, like some kind of big ass corridor, concrete corridor. And it ends up being that television station is like the headquarters, right? And then we meet the elite, and the dummies. They automatically just think that Frank and Nada have been converted, instead of questioning them, like because they're in their normal clothes and not like in the tuxes and the dapper gear.
They literally just beat the shit out of each other. They're all fucking dirty.
Yeah. And they see their buddy that was once homeless, because that's another theme of this film, is like they're talking about how even like us as like middle class or the poor kids, like not everybody, but a lot of us, given the opportunity, we would be greedy, with whatever is dangled in front of us as far as, terms of being rich or having whatever you want. And that's what their homie kind of does. But he believes that they've already turned sides and they're on the alien side as well. So they use him to kind of get backstage of this television station and breach everything. And that's another line where they're like, "Oh, the security guards go, oh, can you show us like your identification badges?" And they're both like, "Yeah, they're right here." And they pull out their clocks and just blow everybody away. It's very how do you say, Die Hard. Die Hard vibes in the building for sure, where they're just killing people left and right. And I'm not a big fan of how they do Frank, Keith David's character, at least in the end, kind of dirty, man. They do.
Yeah, it's very unexpected.
It's a very rough death. It's off screen. It's only kind of implied, but God, man, that woman, dude, pretty ruthless. And even thinking back at the when he kidnaps the woman and he tells her like, "You're going to take me back to your house." She does. She's thinking about ways that she could get away. She tells him like, "Oh, I'm really thirsty." She goes and grabs like a bottle of champagne. And this might be one of the coolest stunts throughout the whole thing, but he walks over to her, kind of lets his guard down. She smashes him over the head and throws him through her fucking sliding glass door. And you just see him tumble down this giant hillside, bro. Man could have been dead. He probably should have died just right there. Because that is a fucked up looking fall, man.
It really is.
Imagine that happening to you and then realizing, oh, I still have to stop this whole ass fucking invasion of Los Angeles. And now I'm like, my legs are all fucked up. And and then he's like, likes her later, where he's just like down to forgive her so quickly at the meeting. He's just like, oh, like, I understand why you did what you did. And then then she just still double crosses him. It's so bizarre. But it's a great ending, because he realizes that she was in on it, that they should not have went to go looking for her up there.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially he's able to kill like their communication, right?
Yeah. He essentially, obviously he dies, but he kind of takes everything out as he's doing so, right?
Yeah. Which leads me to believe that this takeover was probably in its early stages, because there's no, as far as I remember, there's no talk of it being like all over. It was just like they kind of started.
It was
just starting in LA, and that was like their only kind of one satellite, which is pretty lucky. He's really lucky. They're like, oh no, we don't got no backups, dude. And then that killer ending where it's like he fucks up their satellite, and then like everybody at the same time in LA can now see the aliens for who they really are. And then you just go like shot for shot to like people realizing what they're looking at.
So fucking good, dude.
In color. The final shot is like some random chick like on top of her dude, and the dude is an alien, and he's all, what's the matter, baby? End credits.
That is the only possible way that movie could end, is just with a sex scene like that.
Oh man, this movie is so good. If you're listening to this and you have not checked it out, please do yourself a favor, check it out, because it's so fun. It's very fast, you can knock it out quick. If you pay attention to like the timestamps, you're kind of wondering, like, how are they going to wrap this up so quickly?
Mm-hmm.
Watching it for the first time, you're like, holy shit! Like, this is almost over. What?
Yeah, I think it's like an hour and 30 minutes, over an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah. It's very fast.
Yeah.
And the music, dude, iconic again. That kind of.
Yes, dude. Like I said, I got rid of that soundtrack on vinyl. I sold it. But I've been that who put it out? The 7-inch box set. I think it was Sacred Bones.
Oh, okay.
They put out like a 7-inch box set that is it doesn't go for that much online. Yeah, that record, that box set is always on my eBay watch list, and the artwork for it is so fucking good.
It's John Carpenter and Alan Holworth.
Yeah, Holworth. Yeah.
It starts off like kind of very bluesy, and then gets into, of course, like the more synthy, dramatic stuff. It's very good.
Do you own this physically? I don't own it.
No, I have the digital copy on Apple.
Yeah, that's what I bought. I want to get that. I've always passed it, so I've always had it in my hand. I think I had it in my hand at Barnes and Noble like last month. The Scream Factory or Shout Factory.
Yes.
And then I think Walmart has that Steelbook too, like $24, available online.
It's fucking good, dude. Definitely, like you said, one of the best. I think for me, it'd probably go 78 Halloween, The Thing, and They Live.
I think I would put 78 and then I put this and then The Thing. But like I said, dude, you can put The Thing and this, 2A and 2B. Hit that run, dude. That run.
So
10
good.
years of just banger after banger after banger.
Yeah. Even despite like all the like The Thing kind of being a flop, they took him off of Firestarter because of that. He was supposed to do Firestarter, then he gets Christine instead. That's a hit. Then he does Big Trouble in Little China, right? Another massive flop when it came out. So it's like the guy, man, he's just had some really kind of bad luck at first, but then now he is, I feel, regarded as a legend. Like he's in the same conversation as like somebody like Wes Craven, right?
Oh yeah, dude. I think you can probably. That's another thing too, right? Where you could kind of, if someone were to tell you that they think Carpenter, is a little above Craven or vice versa, you can take or leave both of those statements.
What are we gonna do next show?
I think that's your choice, my guy.
All right, dude. I think I got it. Since we just got Civil War recently, let's go back in the time machine to 2018 for a review on Annihilation.
Ooh.
Alex Garland.
Oh yeah, dude.
We're gonna keep it sci-fi.
Oh yeah. I've only seen that movie once, so it's gonna be nice to revisit it.
Hell yeah. Some scary ass shit in there, dude.
Yep.
I could see why you'd only watch it once. It's kind of give you a stomach ache vibes. From Alex Garland, it stars Natalie Portman, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Gina Rodriguez, Tessa Thompson, and Oscar Isaac.
So are his views.
Anything you want to talk about before we get out of here, man?
No, sir. Just go and see They Live. If you see me west tomorrow night at Heavy Heavy Low Low, buy me a cheeseburger.
Dude, I'm stoked. Heavy Heavy Low Low. Fucking number 12 looks like you. Gonna be great. All right, man. This was a lot of fun. If you are stumbling upon this podcast, we operate out of San Diego, California. We go by Drop the Mic, and we are available wherever you stream podcasts. So check us out, whether it be YouTube, Luminary, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, wherever you stream your content. Hit us up. Give us a 5-star rating, a little positive review if you have an extra few seconds within your day. We appreciate that so much. And yeah, I guess until next week, we're going to be breaking down Annihilation, which I think is going to be very, very fun. And I guess until next time, Ryan, we'll say good fight.
And good night.
Our impulses are being redirected. We are living in an artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep.
Oh, goddamn hacker, that second time night that asshole's cut in.
The movement was begun 8 months ago by a small group of scientists who discovered, quite by accident, these signals being sent through...
Thing's giving me a headache. Yeah, tell me about it. Us took the hackers months to figure out how to do this.
The poor and the underclass are growing. Racial justice and human rights are non-existent. They have created a repressive society, and we are their unwitting accomplices. Their intention to rule rests with the annihilation of consciousness. We have been lulled into a trance. They have made us indifferent to ourselves, to others. We are focused only on our own gain. Please understand, they are safe as long as they are not discovered. That is their primary method of survival. Keep us asleep, keep us selfish, keep us sedated.
They're pulling the water out of the sand like sponges.
Blow it out your ass.